How do we know? It says live is starting. Live video is starting. It's starting? I'm now live. I'm live. Am I live? Why am I so short? Now that you're live, you can see real life things. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not supposed to be this short. And I don't know if you can hear me. And if you can't hear me, well then there we are. That means this is just kind of an animated thing. Instead of a still picture, it's a moving picture with my mouth going up and down. Too low FPS. The frame rate is too, so action needed. What does that mean? Okay, in case you're still watching, I just got a thing. It says specifications for live video on Facebook. Learn more. It's 780, 1080? Let's do that. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if this is working. So I'm going to stop worrying if it's working, and I'm just going to talk to you because I really only have 15 minutes, and even though it's only 11 minutes past 10, action needed. Okay. Frame rate. Please set the frame rate to 50. Okay. So 60 frames per second. Okay. Business help. Hi, Abby. How can I help? Good question. 60. Do this. Okay. Do this. Okay. Create. Troubleshoots. Reacted to. Okay. Okay, am I on? I don't know what this means. My screen has gone dark. I don't know if you can see me. Oh! 60. Do this. Okay. Do this. Okay. Create. Troubleshoots. Reacted to. Okay. Okay, am I on? Good God, that's loud. Okay. I'm now watching a live video. How can I be watching a live video? I can't watch a live... All right. I'm going to close that. Apparently my frames per second is too low, whatever that means. Oh, it's only 10:13. I still have 2 minutes ahead of when I'm supposed to be on. Is it too loud? Is that better? Too low. You know when you're driving and the light comes on the dash and you say to yourself, oh, I need to put tape over that? I have the feeling I needed tape for this. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans of all ages, this is, if you can't tell, the reason that I'm not supposed to operate machinery, because clearly I'm good at other things. I don't know why you can't see me, because I'm taller than this. However, we will persevere. It's now 10:14. I still have a minute before I'm actually supposed to start. Awesome. Am I figuring this out? No. Does it matter? I have no idea. Somebody will tell me later. They will say, just read books, okay? Just read books. So my name is Abby Hagyard. And as you can tell, I trip and fall into things all the time. And my true gift is managing somehow to get up without chipping a tooth or, ending up in a gutter somewhere. And the reason I thought it would be, the reason I keep looking down is because it keeps telling me my frames per second are too low. Darling, I've never been told that before. The reason I thought it would be a good idea to do 15 minutes like this is, it's 10:15. Hi everyone, this is the official start. I've been prattling on here for a couple of minutes because I was trying to figure out how to do this before it started. I've been trying all morning, and I said, oh well, we're live. The reason I thought it would be a great idea to start doing these chats live is because people really aren't talking anymore. I'm seeing a lot of people who are angry. I'm seeing a lot of people who are confused, demented in some way. I'm just not seeing conversation. And conversation is incredible. For me, it's the stuff of life. I say stuff, you say stuff, and together we create something out of that conversation. Many years ago, I had an opportunity to do a stage play called Shirley Valentine. And it's a beautiful show. I would do it again in a heartbeat if I could get away with it. Shirley is married, and her marriage has gone pretty stale. And she's from the north of England. And my grandparents were from the north of England. So when I got practicing the show, it turned out that, being Shirley Valentine was easy, really. It was like falling off the back of a brick, mind the curb, because apparently I was raised in this kind of accent. And so, I'd walk around on stage and talk like this, and then somebody would come along and say, have you got all the props? And I would say, yes, I do. And then I'd get back into accent character. And I realized that this was some kind of a crazy gift, because it allowed me to talk to people from a different place, And there's a great line in Shirley Valentine. It made me cry every time. It might now. She said, you know how it is when someone likes you, approves of you, and you know it? Well, you start to grow again, don't you? Yeah. And you're not 18 or 64 or 105. You're just alive in the time that you live in. And I don't think we're doing that. See, it made me cry. I don't think we're doing that. I don't think we're alive in the time we're living because I don't think we're talking to each other. I don't think we're listening. I think we're yelling. I think, that saying, people like us do things like this? I think we're all hung up on the fact that people like us did things like this, and now we're not allowed to. And we're grumpy and upset and nervous, and we don't know which way is up, and when is it going to be over, and do these pants make me look fat? Well, of course they do. Why are you wearing them? And so we've stopped having fun. We've stopped talking to each other. We've stopped trying to figure out how to trigger each other and make each other laugh and have a good time together for as long as we have. And that's part of my life as a military kid. I never had any idea how long I would have, how much time, how much time I would have before we would have to move. I never knew the difference between forever and 4:30. And so I tend to jump and rush and try to fit things in, and it comes across maybe as trying too hard or saying, well, we'll fix it in editing. We'll fix it in post. But right now the audience is out there and I can't let them down because this may be the only time I get a chance to see them. So my whole career has been that, doing the best I can to make you feel like you matter to me, because you do. Without you, well, it's a very quiet without you, but without you, it's a rehearsal. Without all of us, it's grumpy and lonely and boring, and we need each other. So talking, me prattling on at you, is the beginning of something that I want to do on this project called Story Me. Story Me is like Kiss Me. It's not, would you please kiss me, or I would like you to kiss me. It's kiss me. Story me. Tell me a story. Tell me your story. Ask me your questions about your life. Do I have the faintest idea how to help you live your life? I can't find the live Facebook instructions, so probably not. But at least you know that there's somebody you might have watched on television who is listening, who is a real person, who, yes, apparently is as addle-headed as Mom was, and Friend Bear, and all those characters who never really quite understood what they were doing. Yes, apparently that was just me. There was no acting involved whatsoever. So I want to create friendships and relationships and conversations. And I want to do it on the internet, because I have learned that if it's on the internet, it's forever. Just check out You Can't Do That on Television episodes on YouTube. I get to look like that forever. Forever and ever. So I thought, by doing this, by rehearsing this with you, me talking to you, you ask me a question and I answer it, and we get a conversation going on, that it will relax you enough to trust me and ask me questions. I tried this live at a Comic-Con in 2018. We did a show instead of a panel, and I told people that in front of the cameras, with no rehearsal and no opportunity to run backstage and throw up, I would answer their questions. All they had to do was ask me something about their life. Not how many times did I trip over the doorway walking in, something about them. And this, I thought they were going to be funny questions. I really did, because, click, I'm a comedian. I assumed we were all going to be comedians together. And they weren't comedian questions. They were real questions. They asked me things about their lives, what I thought, what my opinion was. And it threw me. But, you know, you never let them see you fall backwards off the stage. You carry forward. So I answered them the best I could. And the most extraordinary thing happened. Over the course of time, since we did that pilot, I guess you could call it, in 2018, the 4 people who asked me questions on this practice run at 15 Minutes with Abby, the 4 people who asked me questions about their lives, they got their answers. They got the answers that I somehow triggered. Without quite honestly having the faintest idea what I was doing, I was listening to them, and I was speaking from the heart. One man, it was lovely, said that he'd asked his girl to marry him 15 years earlier, and they'd never gotten around to doing it. And their anniversary was coming up, and what did I think he should do? And so he was the first question, and I hadn't expected that kind of a question, and I said, what did she say when you asked? And he said, well, she said yes. I said, well then, there's your, get her the ring and tell her it was back ordered. Marry the girl. And then a year later, he contacted me and said, I did it. I asked her, she said yes, and the wedding is next week, and I know you can't come, but we're going to have our honeymoon at Montreal Comic-Con. Could you join us? And I had a week's warning. A week. A week. And in that time, all the heavens conspired to help me. All the gods came together. And I ended up with the producer of You Can't Do That on Television. I ended up with 3 video producers. I ended up as a guest of a Klingon booth at Montreal Comic Con. I ended up with the Dark Empire agreeing to do a wedding march welcoming the couple. I ended up with the Vikings in the next booth showing up as my side of the family. And the Klingons told me that as Klingon society is a matriarchy, I was the one to do the Klingon wedding ceremony for them. And the whole thing was caught on video. And my couple had no idea that it was going to happen. But that was, I guess, my reward for listening to him, and their reward for believing that yes means yes. And what's the worst that can happen? Asked me if I was a student at Hogwarts, which house would I join? And I hadn't actually seen the movie or read Harry Potter, and so I listened to her, and I thought, I have no idea what she's saying, and she's speaking in English. How interesting. But she asked which house I would join, and I said, you know, honey, I'm the wrong person to ask. Vikings don't join other people's houses. We build our own. And today, oh my goodness, this beautiful woman is building her own house. And it's fabulous. It's fabulous. One man asked me to help him with his bucket list. And I said, as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to make a list, you're going to forget the point. Don't focus on how many buckets, just work on one. And they've done something amazing in their lives, he and his lovely, lovely partner. They have this beautiful, beautiful new child in their lives. And the last one was a fellow who has a card company, and he said, should I keep going? And I just saw on Facebook a couple of days ago that he's not only kept going, he's got a whole new branding thing going on. So I'm not saying that I know what I'm doing. I'm not saying that I can, read people, or I'm a combination of Dear Abby and Mom. But I think when people listen, when you ask somebody who you respect and they listen, I think the fact that they listen gives you the confidence to believe in yourself. It's you believing in you, really. So part of what Story Me TV is going to be is I want to do a whole series on 15 minutes with Abby. A whole series where the viewers who get involved, who get engaged, who subscribe and become influencers, change makers with me, they're going to submit their questions, and I'm going to do it live, the way I'm doing this. No rehearsal. Hopefully by then I'll understand live on Facebook. And I'll talk about their questions and why I think I know the answer. Because I think if we do this together, if we talk together about the little things, the big things aren't going to be that terrible. The other thing, I've only got 2 minutes left. Wow. The other thing I'm going to do, not in the mornings. The mornings are just chatter about stuff. But I'm going to pick one evening a week, and I'm going to start reading to you. I'm going to start reading Vicarious. Vicarious was my first novel. The first time I decided to fictionalize all the insanely crazy things that have happened to me. And there's a sequel, and I'm going to read from that later. Hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, with the help of some of my brilliant, brilliant actor friends. A bunch of that stuff got sidelined with COVID, and the reason for all of this exercise, this Story Me TV, is I want people like us to do things like this, to not allow ourselves to be held hostage to, we have to stay home for a while. Not hostage to, it may not be safe just yet. Because we can all be together on the internet. We can all do this. And you can send me your comments and I can read them and reply. Because it occurred to me, slowly, keen but slow, that I didn't become famous because people knew me on the next block. I became famous because of the internet. I became known as Mom to everyone, thanks to Nickelodeon licensing us to the U.S. Armed Forces Network. So that's who we all are. We're children of the world. I have 10 seconds left. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to try and do this with a little more techno-savvy on Thursday morning, on Thursday at 10:15. I hope you'll join me.